Hello, beautiful souls. Happy 5-5 portal. So 5 is the divine number of individualism and personal freedom, having learned lessons through our experiences. So with this 5-5 portal, we'll be receiving a lot of energies that are obviously surrounding that theme, helping us to dig into our own energies and hear our own voice, which is important for us to be aware of our own voice, of course, now that we're in this new energetic phase where it's a lot more action orientated. If you've been keeping an eye on these weekly readings, then you'll know I've been banging on about this for months now, that this is a lot more action orientated, meaning things are really going to start moving forward in the physical reality. We're going to start seeing things manifesting within the physical, whereas previously we've been in our little caves and we've been very introspective and working on ourselves, mostly purging our old karma so that we can start with a blank slate. And so now, excuse me, I've been drinking a lot of tea this morning. So now with this 5-5 portal energy, we're being delivered this new and fresh ability to look within ourselves and decide for ourselves, unhindered by other people's opinions and other people's ideals as to what we should and should not be doing. So we can decide for ourselves what we want for ourselves within the physical realm. What kinds of lives do we want to be living? You know, what are our goals, our desires? What career do we want to get stuck into? How do we want to love? All this good stuff. So let's have a look. Let's see. I think the way we'll kind of structure this reading is we'll just keep pulling cards, right? I think it will structure itself as we go. Oh, hello. Okay, beautiful. Straight off the bat then. We've got full moon completion. Whoop. Rolling away. Full moon completion. Okay, interesting that we have just moved out of full moon energy. The last full moon, right, okay, I understand, thank you. The last full moon that we experienced was what, a week or so ago. Worth watching that reading if you haven't already. Lots of very useful information there from Spirit. It was a super full moon in Scorpio, and the next full moon is also a super full moon, and it's also a full lunar eclipse. I forget off the top of my head what sign it's in. I want to say it's Sagittarius, but don't quote me on it. Pretty sure it is a fire sign either way. So right now we are caught between these two very powerful full moons. There's a lot of very strong, crazy energy whipping around at the moment, and still more to come, you know, with that full moon, full lunar eclipse, and it being a full moon, and it being a super moon all at the same time. Pretty rare and crazy. And also being in a fire sign as well. Again, don't quote me that it's on Sagittarius, that it's in Sagittarius, but it's definitely a fire sign. Obviously, we'll do a reading for that when we get to it. We've still got a new moon to go through yet, so we've got at least 3 weeks to go. But there's lots of very powerful energy, and Spirit here just wants to acknowledge that these full moons are very significant to our own personal growth, to releasing and surrendering to our own inner voice. You know, because in the past we've known what we've wanted, but we've been swayed by other people to not do them, or to go ahead and do them, but do them in the way that these people kind of suggest to us. And so we've been hearing our own voice, but we've not been acting on it. And now we're in an action orientated energetic phase, which is going to last us until October. So this 5-5 portal energy is really, and these full moon, 2 full moons stacked on top of each other right at the very beginning of this phase, is really setting us up the right way for us to take action on the things that we desire, in our own way, and not listening so much to what other people are saying. So let's see if there's anything else from this deck. Might need to switch into another one. Nope. Okay, we've got Spring Equinox Rebirth. Look at that. Right? So with this full moon energies, and obviously this portal energy, all of it combined is helping bring about this Phoenix type energy, this rebirth, right? This is all very new to us. We've not experienced this kind of stuff before. By stuff I mean energy. This is completely alien to us, right? And I'm also getting here that we need to follow the white rabbit down the rabbit hole, right? We need to start exploring, and allow ourselves to be reborn. The old way no longer serves us. It just doesn't do anything for us. Going about things the way that you used to go about them is not going to serve you like they used to. If anything, it's going to hinder you. There now needs to be new everything. New way of thinking, new approach to things, and a new course of action. Beautiful. I feel like we're done with that. Okay, so let's see what like lessons, or I'm going to use the word issue, right? Because there are no problems, only lessons. So let's see what's to be learned from this 5-5 portal energy. Ooh, hello. No, that's too many cards. Thank you. Okay, we've got the eyes of beauty, positive expectation and clarity, right? So with this new way of thinking and this rebirth energy, we are being encouraged to think very positively, to see the beauty in things. That will really help us to gain some clarity. So this deck that I'm using now, I always use to see what needs to be done, what action needs to be taken from our side of things, and what lessons are to be learned, what shadow there is for us to work through, that kind of stuff. So, we're seeing here that we are being asked to think of things more positively. Stop rooting around looking for the negative in things. This is ego, and ego doesn't serve anymore. We're being asked to have these eyes of beauty, right? To see the beauty in things. It's like that song, always look on the bright side of life. This is basically the attitude that we need to have in order to manifest our desires. If we start, if we decide what we want for ourselves, and then we start thinking of all the problems, that could maybe crop up along the way, we kind of trap ourselves, right? And then suddenly it seems like this mammoth task that we couldn't possibly do by ourselves, and then we give up. and we decide to do something that's a bit more easy, right? And usually that's something very different to what we originally decided that we wanted for ourselves. So when you look at things positively, positive things happen. This is the law of attraction. So you know, our attitude, we need to shift our attitude towards the more positive end of the scale here. Let's see if there's anything else that we need to do, or things that we are set up to learn here. Okay, we have the Chess Queen, trust and strategizing. Okay, so I feel that we're also being asked here to take our time, right? Chess is a very slow game where there's a lot of thought that's put into the moves ahead. It's not a game that you rush. You take your time with it, right? You strategize. I don't want to overcomplicate things and make it sound like I'm saying that your life is like a game of chess, because it's not. But we're being shown here that if we take our time with manifesting our desires, and we see this as a strategic exercise, there's a lot for us to learn from it, from the journey, and we are guaranteed the outcome that we desire, but we have to be patient and really take our time. The word trust here, I feel, is being coupled with the word queen. This is divine feminine energy, of course, and we need to trust our divine feminine energy within ourselves more during this time. The feminine energy is being very much transmuted right now. I mean, the divine feminine energy in itself is being reborn. The masculine energy, not so much. He went through his rebirth over the last couple of years. Worth watching. Can't remember what video it was. Certainly the last couple of Twin Flame Tuesday readings. If you haven't seen those, or if you haven't been following those, so you know that it will make more sense what I've just said there about the divine feminine. I'm not going to go into it again now and kind of repeat it all, especially if you've already heard it, right? So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and have a look at those readings. And also I think it was the Mystical Monday video just gone, so a couple of days ago. There was a lot of divine feminine energy coming up in that reading as well. The feminine's really going through a lot right now when it comes to transformation and surrender and release. She's being reborn, you know. So off the back of that, with this 5/5 portal energy, we are being asked to trust the divine feminine energies a lot more. Those energies have been quite erratic for a while, since the beginning of the year really, while she's been finding her footing with this new way of being. And this 5/5 portal, I feel, is being directed at it's being directed at both masculine and feminine energies, but when it's the way it's directing itself at the feminine energies, it's asking her to yeah, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of renewing the way that she comes up with her ideas. The way, or the manner in which this portal energy is directing itself at the masculine is asking him to or it's bolstering him. So when he does take action, he moves forward to the highest degree and maintains that very calm feeling that he's been carrying, you know, with him all this time. If you've been watching the Twin Flame Tuesday readings, then you'll know what I'm talking about. So this energy is it's definitely affecting the masculine and the feminine collectives quite differently, but overall it's bringing harmony between them. So interesting, really really interesting. I'm gonna just see if there's anything else to come from this deck, which there is. Okay, so we have the Arrow Master, hitting the mark, intention and detachment. All right, so that goes with the Chess Queen there, I feel. That's all that we're going to get from this deck. That's all this is here, is just clarifying what I've just said, about taking your time with, you know, take this as a strategizing lesson and journey, and you are then guaranteed to gain the outcome that you desire. And this here is just clarifying that, hitting the mark, right? That's exactly what will happen. You'll hit the mark with what it is that you're after. Okay. Oh, hello. That just flew out. Okay, so we've got meditate and contemplate. New moon in Pisces. We've got a water sign. It's very emotional. Again, more divine feminine energy. New moon, new beginnings. Yeah, this portal energy is really bringing in this rebirth energy. Absolutely, it's all just new is like the theme word here. So again, we're being asked to take our time and not to rush into anything in the physical reality. We need to meditate, we need to contemplate, we need to strategize, and we need to trust. All of this combined will bring the clarity and the positive expectation that we're being asked to carry. We need to meditate, especially when and if we feel particularly emotional. The ego might decide to kick up and start finding all sorts of problems and issues with what we've, you know, our desires and our plans and all that stuff. There's no place for ego here, so meditating will help to quell that. It will also help your ego to learn to trust you, and when your ego trusts you, it won't be noisy, right? It won't worry for you, because it knows that you have everything in hand. An ego that is unchecked is like a child that is not parented, or is parented badly. I think we'll probably do a video on this at some point in the future, but we talk about this a lot on Twitch. By the way, links in the description below if you want to come and join us live. We talk about this a lot on Twitch, ego and how to kind of train it well and all that stuff, and I always say that it's like it's a toddler, you know, and out on the street and stuff, you know, you see badly behaved children and then their parents are like screaming at them and telling them what a piece of shit they are, and or they're ignoring them altogether, you know, and the kid is just a nightmare, right? And the ego works in very much the same way. If you parent it well, you comfort it, but you don't allow it to take over, you don't allow it to be in charge, you know, treat it like it's the child that it is, right? If you treat it like it's a child and take on the role of being a parent, your ego will be this good, well-behaved child, and it still have its moments, but but moments it is, right? It's not entire days or weeks even. And this is key to pulling yourself out of depression or an anxious state. A healthy ego is a healthy mind just altogether. So, I mean, this isn't the point initially that I was making, but Aurora saw fit for me to say all of that. So meditation, during this time, especially if you're feeling, right, especially if your ego is being loud and noisy, and either it's hating on you or it's hating on your ideas, and it's trying to just create problems like an unruly child, you can regain your control over your mind by meditating. Meditation is also something that we talk about a lot on Twitch, sort of how to meditate, especially if you've not meditated before, and kind of breaking down the misconceptions of, you know, meditation is simply emptying your mind. I mean, that's impossible, right? That's not what meditation is. Meditation is being very aware of your thought processes and focusing them on something specific. Meditation is brain training, it's thought training, as well as connecting to the divine consciously, and gaining information through that channel. But that's like the next step, right? So meditation is important. In my humble opinion, it's important for everybody to engage in, because it helps you to know your own mind, to learn your ego, to gain control of your ego, and to live harmoniously with your ego and with yourself and your own thoughts. It helps you to learn yourself, and it helps you to gain better control over your emotions as well. It's an extremely healthy, beneficial practice. So if you're not meditating already, then start. You know, you only need 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes in the grand scheme of your day is fuck all, right? You can spare 10 minutes. So, you know, we are going back to the original point. So we are being asked that, especially in times when your ego is being loud, meditate, right? Meditate, contemplate, strategize. Okay, this is about taking your time, especially as this 5/5 portal, it's a portal, right? It takes time to step through it, and to receive the DNA activation and the new light codes. It takes time for it to settle. That's why we get one a month and not one a week. You know, it takes time for us to really assimilate it, the information and the energy. So in honor of that, take your time, right? This is not like, oh right, today's the 5th of May, it's the 5/5 portal, cool, tomorrow I'm going to make all my dreams come true. I'm not trying to shit on your dreams here, but it's going to take longer than a day, okay? We're looking at 2022, where we start to really live our dreams in the physical reality. Right now, all of this, for the rest of this year anyway, is laying in the groundwork. It's essential that we take our time. It's essential that we get this right. And when we set our minds to something very specific, and we take our time with it, we absolutely get the results that we want, right? We've seen this here anyway, but logic will also dictate that if you take your time and you're very meticulous over the details, and you're very specific over what you want, and you don't let anybody else get involved, and you're just doing it on your own, and you're doing it your way, you'll nail it. And Spirit is, you know, Spirit wants this for us. Spirit wants it because we want it. Spirit will guide us to get there, and will aid us in our endeavours. It will always meet us 50% of the way. This is our 50% right here. It's to take our time, not rush things, and allow the rebirth. Yeah, see, we've got the end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn, so Capricorn is an earth sign. So we're being shown here that the way that we used to do things has become tough now. You know, we see this, the end of a tough cycle approaches, right? We are, this is the end of the old and the beginning of the new, with the spring equinox, and rebirth. We're finding, continuing the way that we used to now, is creating issues. You know, it's making things not simple and not easy. It's making things tough, right? So the old way of doing things is now coming to an end. The old way of thinking about things, our old approach to things, it just does not serve us anymore, because we've changed. We've changed within. We're more in tune with ourselves, we're more in touch with spirit and with ourselves and with each other. We think differently, we're gentler now, we're more compassionate and more loving. So going about things in the way that we used to, that's what our old self would do, and we're not that person anymore. So we need to change our methods to align with the new version of ourselves that we are. So we're seeing this coming to an end now. And this is also where the meditation comes in as well. You know, because it's helping to realign the inner world with the outer world. Oh my goodness. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't have time to warn you that I was about to sneeze. I'm sorry if that was super loud. I literally had no time to warn you. And I couldn't mute my microphone in time either, because the button's all the way over there. Okay, so we've got Child of the Cosmos. Yeah, look at that. These cards are so beautiful. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. Look at that divine feminine being reawoken. See, I've just realised this is a divine feminine too, as well as both of those cards, not this one, but those two being divine feminine. Divine feminine is really going through it right now, isn't she? Go back and watch those readings if you haven't, because that will just make so much more sense to you. But yeah, divine feminine energy is really, oh man, I'm so excited to see what the divine feminine energy looks like once she's been transformed into this new version of herself. She's gonna be a force to be fucking reckoned with, I tell you. True goddess, absolutely. So yeah, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. Also meditation, right? Meditation is what brings that out. You are a child of the cosmos. You have the answers within you. And this 5-5 portal is helping to bring that to the surface for conscious recognition. Okay, we've also got karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. Right. Okay. Okay. This is referring to soul bound relationships. So this could be soul flame, twin flame, soul mate, whatever you want to label them. Those are the terms that I'm more comfortable with using. Okay, sorry, because I sneezed, I'm now all sniffly. Okay, but also karmic partnerships, right? Now that we're stepping into authenticity, this 5-5 portal is bringing with it this rebirth energy, you know, as I said at the beginning of this reading, the divine number of 5 being the divine number of personal freedom and individualism, you know, hearing your own voice, learning lessons based on your own experiences, being more in tune with yourself. It's almost like the me, myself and I number to a degree. Right, I'm just trying to articulate what I'm getting here. Okay, because we're stepping more into authenticity, karmic relationships, if you're in a karmic relationship, it's coming to an end. A karmic relationship is one where you're meant to learn lessons, and then once you've learned the lesson, you part. It's not a forever relationship. Sorry, I am way too snotty right now. Sorry, excuse me. I'm like... funny that since the spring equinox, I've been suffering hardcore from hay fever. And I keep sneezing and coughing all over the place. Okay. Okay, so yes, a karmic relationship is not a forever relationship. So if you are in a karmic relationship or have been in one and now it's ended, right, it's probably because it was a karmic. And like I say, now that we're our true selves and authenticity is coming out, you know, karmic relationships can't survive beyond that. Because both parties are very steadfast within themselves, and karmics are meant to learn a lesson, right? They're not compatible. So once the purpose has been served, then that's that. It's done so. The only reason that it would continue beyond that lesson being learned is the ego is holding on to it. You or your partner are feeling deeply insecure, or both of you are very, very insecure and just simply put, don't want to let each other go. Right, let it go, okay? Just let it go, folks. It's not serving you, it's not true love. You're not happy, they're not happy. Just fucking be done with it, alright? I'm just going to be very cutthroat about that, because this is your life we're talking about here, and if it's not working, it's just not working, okay? So pack it in. You haven't failed. It's a karmic, all right? It's supposed to end. It was built to end. So the soul growth we see here, right? Soul growth comes from ending it. It doesn't come from being in it. It's a bit like learning, you know, you learn the lesson whilst you're in it, and then when it's over, you get clarity on that lesson. And you usually thank yourself for ending it, don't you? Like, it's happened before, it's not the first time. Also, let's look at it this way. So long as you're in your karmic, you're not with your twin. And your twin is true soul love. You're not getting the best of what there is out there, basically, if you're with a karmic. So stop it, pull the plug, alright, it's done. Now is the time to be doing that. So I am seeing for the collective there's going to be a lot of breakups between now and October. A lot of them. But that's okay, because what the collective will do, you know, the collective is kind of, they're partnered in a particular way right now, but then they'll all disperse and then they'll all reunite, but in different duos, right? it with potentially the right ones. I mean, to be honest, looking at the Twin Flame Collective at the moment, it's the divine masculine and divine feminine energies are realigning themselves now, ready for union in the physical reality. So I'd say, you know, probably I don't really like to put time frames and things on this, because obviously it's not down to me to come up with a time frame, it's up to you, right? Because how long it depends on how long you take to surrender to the energy and to the will of the divine, right? If you keep resisting it, then you know it will take longer. But let's just say, for argument's sake, everybody surrenders and does what they're meant to, then I can see a lot of unions happening at the end of this year and the beginning of 2022, and actually throughout 2022. So by like 2023, all the twins are reunited. Well, I say all, I'm going to use the term loosely there, because obviously some twins go into separation and they just kind of stay stuck in separation. But then again, I'm looking at this as a hypothetical. Everyone does as they're meant to. Everyone releases and surrenders, and then yes, union is absolutely possible. But both parties have to release and surrender. It can't just be one-sided. You might be ready for union, but and if your partner's like sort of holding on to stuff, then union won't happen. So I can see this portal energy is really benefiting the masculine and feminine energies, definitely. It's very, very strong. So yeah, lots of karmics are ending. Just let it go, gang. If you're in a karmic and it's not working, just let it go. All right. Embrace your authenticity. Look at things from the positive side, right? Yes, this is something ending, but you're taking something very, very valuable from it. The lessons that you've learned, like I said a minute ago, they're a karmic. They're not meant to be your husband or your wife. You weren't meant to be with them for the rest of your life. You've learned what you needed to learn. They've learned what they needed to learn. Now it's time to part ways and move on. Otherwise, you're just creating this very stale, stagnant energy that isn't benefiting either of you. So just end it. You know, be strong and look at the positive side of things. Right? Yes. Okay. As a little side note to that, right? Healing needs to happen, and it won't happen unless you part ways. So Spirit is being very persistent on this, that all karmics must end. And they will. I mean, they will just naturally, right? If you don't end it, your partner probably will. If it's a karmic, right? It's just the way that energy is set up right now, and what we're receiving with the 5-5 is it's just naturally creating the situation where karmics can't continue. So you know, if you're one of those people, meditate, right? Meditate, contemplate, strategize. The end of this tough cycle is approaching. Just surrender to it. Things will go so much easier if you surrender to it. You can be upset, you can be sad, you know, you can think about the past and stuff, but don't dwell on it or hold on to it, because the past is the past. It's not happening right now. Let it go. Everything positive is to be gained from letting the past go. Like, you get to live in the now, you get to experience new things and new people, you get to experience true love the way that you deserve to receive it. A karmic partner will never give you that deep set love, because they're not there for that. They're a teacher. They're not your lover. They're a teacher. And you deserve to not be stuck in some stagnant karmic forever, don't you? Right, see? Karma. Again, Spirit's being really, really adamant here that karmics have got to end. Yeah, because you deserve unconditional love, and you deserve to express your free will and listen to your intuition and nurture yourself and manifest. Oh my god, it just keeps coming. And manifest the things that you desire and experience true Kundalini awakening, and to trust in divine timing, to be loyal to oneself, and to be playful, to work through your shadow work, and to dream, and to receive divine guidance. Authenticity, it just keeps fucking going. I could go through the entire deck. I'm not gonna. Right? Authenticity is where we've ended. This is what we're being gifted right now, is authenticity. Oh, look at that. Divine feminine. Divine feminine and growth. Right, I'm not going to keep going because it's getting silly, but you know, I love when Spirit speaks like this and it just flows, right? So I really hope that this reading has served you guys well. I'm going to leave it there. I'm smiling so much right now because this information is just so valuable, and positive, isn't it? I mean, don't you feel excited about this year, next year, the rest of your life? The karmics are ending, the lessons are over in that particular realm. It's time for the me, myself and I journey. It's time to realign with your twin flame. It's time to start moving forward in the physical reality. It's just making me smile so much. I'm so excited, and I really hope that you guys are as well. And I hope that this reading has served you all very well. So I'll leave it there. Remember that you are valued, you are important, and you are loved. And I will see you guys in the next one.